Hi, Creek Kids. I'm so excited you're here today.
Yeah, and we're going to play a game called
Would You Rather? Creek Kids, would you rather live in a treehouse or an igloo?
Treehouse or an igloo? I don't know. It depends on who built the treehouse.
I love the snow and I love being cold.
No, not me. I'll take the treehouse.
Igloo all the way.
How about this one? Would you rather live in the clouds or underwater? Water.
I love to swim and I love oceans and I love like an octopus and fish.
No, I don't want to live underwater. I'd rather be up in the clouds where I can see everything and be up there near the sun. That's me.
I want to be all pruny and in the ocean.
Yeah, that sounds about right for you.
Hey, Creek Kids, would you rather have green hair or blue hair?
Oh my.
You have to have one, green or blue.
Can I just be bald?
No, you have to choose.
Oh, how about blue hair?
I'm going with green. Green's my favorite color. I think I'd look great with green
All
hair.
right, I'll agree with her on this one. I'll go green as well.
All right, good job, babe.
Next. Why are you laughing? Next, would you rather be the sun or the moon?
Ooh.
Sun or the moon? Which would you rather be? How about you, Miss Sue?
I want to be the sun. Bright and gold and just the happy sun. I love the sun. I love summer.
If it's a full moon, the really big, beautiful moon,
yeah.
I'd like to be the moon. That is so beautiful. And you can't really look at the sun because it hurts your eyes.
You can't.
But I do like when it's sunny and warm out.
You know what? That's a hard question.
That is, because I love...
Boys and girls.
I love the morning when the sun is coming up.
Boys and girls, which would you rather be?
Yeah, what would you rather be?
The sun or the moon? Right now, Creek Kids, it's time for Bible Story!
Bible Story!
Hi, Creek Kids. Today we're learning about something miraculous. Do you remember what a miracle is? A miracle is something that only God can do. Well, that mean old Pharaoh would not allow Moses to take God's people out to the desert to worship him. And Moses asked, and mean old Pharaoh said, no, you cannot take your people. And Moses said, Pharaoh, you let my people go. And Pharaoh said, no. So God sent the first plague. The first plague was all the water in Egypt, in the Nile River, and in their water pitchers, in their bowls, anywhere there was water, turned to blood. Thick, red, ooey, gooey blood. And all the fish in the river died because fish can't swim in blood, can they? So Moses went back to Pharaoh and he says, God says to let my people go. And Pharaoh said, no, I won't. You see, Pharaoh had all of the Hebrew people doing all of his really hard work, building pyramids and houses and roads, and they were his slaves. And a slave is someone that has to do all the hard work and does not get paid any money for it. And they can't leave. They have no rights. It was very sad. God said, Moses, I'm going to send another plague. The next plague was frogs. Frogs were everywhere. They were in their hair, they were down their clothes, they were in their underwear, they were in their bowls, they were in their beds, their bathtubs. Frogs were everywhere. Pharaoh didn't like it. He called Moses in front of him and he said, Moses, you get rid of these frogs. And Moses said, God says to let my people go. Okay. If you get rid of all the frogs, I'll let your people go. So God got rid of the frogs. Well, they all died, and they had to heap them in a big pile. They smelled. But then Pharaoh changed his mind, and he said, I will not let your people go. How naughty is that? The next plague was gnats. Gnats. gnats, little itty bitty black bugs that flew up their nose, in their eyes, in their ears, in their mouth. There were gnats everywhere, in their hair. They were driving all the people just bonkers. They were like, oh, get rid of these gnats. And the gnats covered all of Egypt. They were in Pharaoh's house, in his crown, in his clothes. They were everywhere. Pharaoh called Moses back. He said, get rid of the gnats. And Moses said, God says to let my people go. Do you think Pharaoh let God's people go after that? No, he didn't. Now it's the plague of flies. Boys and girls, when you get a little fly in your house, doesn't it bother you? You just want to get a fly swatter and hit that fly, right? Well, these flies were so thick, it was dark because of flies. The flies were in the house. They were everywhere. They were on everybody's bodies. They were biting all of the animals, the dogs, the cats, the camels. These flies were everywhere. They were those great big fat buzzing flies. And oh, it was creepy. Can you all say creepy? Creepy. Oh, those flies were everywhere. And Moses was called back in front of Pharaoh, and Pharaoh said, you get rid of these flies. And what did Moses say? Moses says, God says to let my people go. Pharaoh wouldn't do it. Our next plague is the 5th plague. This one is so sad. This is the plague of the livestock. Now, livestock means the cows, donkeys, goats, sheep, cattle. All of them got very, very sick. The animals that belonged to the Egyptians, they got sick and they died. It was sad. But God's people, all of their animals were just fine. Not one animal of the Hebrews died that day, but the Egyptians' animals, they died. Do you think Pharaoh let God's people go now? Nope, he still didn't. Boys and girls, you come back next week and we will talk about the next 5 plagues. Bye, friends.